Yo, what's going on, boys, girls, ladies and gentlemen? Just another video. This is how I spent more than 500 hours, 2,840 levels into these characters in the first Ascendant, and what you can expect should you continue playing. With regards to the community of this game, first and foremost, it is quite helpful, quite cooperative. The developers are taking kindly to feedback from the community and implementing changes at quite a rapid rate. Should the community in the future turn out to be super toxic and the developers are bad at the game, I'll see you down in the comments so you can tell me how wrong I was. But I'm going to do the rest of this video without the face cam, and we're going to just chop onto audio because I'm trying to script it. I'm trying to do a little bit better quality, a little bit more. Yeah. Anyways. And we're back on audio only. I'm making this video to demonstrate how much you can get done in the game, and if you should continue with it, what your account can look like in the near future. To qualify myself, I've got over 15,000 hours in Destiny 2, I've platinum Marvel Avengers, and I have way too many constellations on my Raiden Shogun and Genshin Impact with her weapon. Jokes aside, to get back to TFT, I've grinded out every character free to play. With only spending on the battle pass, and then with the coins I receive from that, I put it back into the character slots, which is something I think you will have to purchase at some point if you don't want to wait days for you to craft some ultimate descendants again. I'll explain what I did in the game and how I got my account this strong, what I would do if I had to do it again. So with regards to TFT, I started the game 2 days late because all my friends went to TFT. And eventually, by the time they all swapped over, I had no one left to raid with, and I was forced to come over. What I did was I blitzed through the story since most of it was available in the beta, and by the time I got to the new stuff, I was already disinterested. And then we started farming. And farming is what we're good at. So with regards to the story, I picked Ajax as my first 3 character. Yes, you do get Bunny and Freyna at some point if you continue with it. And then I put 2 crystallization catalysts into Ajax just to give him some strength, and also an energy activator into him and the Tamer. I understand that this is not the part that most people go down, and I don't recommend you do it either. This is just something I did to make sure I gain some power early, and it's not what I'm going to recommend. Me and the boys then decided to farm out some ultimate descendants, to which we went for Bunny, Glay. I've ended up splitting off from them because I went to sleep. I continued to farm Ajax, Lepek. We got on a little bit of different schedules, and we played together and farm out pieces that were mutually beneficial to us. And then the parts that we'd already gone and gotten separately, we'd just let it be and do it on our own time. Just to snip in editing right here, but I did end up getting Ultimate Valby. This was when the update came out in a single session, 8 hours. It was pretty easy. Some of them came on with focus farmed. It was quite an easy descendant to get. I think our hardest parts like maybe 10 or 20%. Pretty easy. That should be wrapping up what I did in the game. Now we're going to get on to what I do differently. First things first, instead of Ajax, I'd pick Lepek as my starter. But I would do what I did with Ajax, and I would put in the crystallization catalyst and energy activators into him. I know. It's expensive, and you only get 2 from the story, but you need power early, and this will make your farming faster in the future. If you use Lepek, I'd go with the one-shot build to just kill the bosses faster, and I'd use the bun you get from the story as my farming with the farming build character. The next thing I would do is actually not target farm any weapons, as the current meta as of August 2024 is Enduring Legacy and Greg's Reverse Fate. They aren't great, but when we started the game it was all about Thunder Cage and Pythons. So that's also not a bad option to pick. Maybe just use the Thunder Cage. The reason I say not to just target farm guns is there's always a better gun and the meta does change. Whatever you go and you end up picking, whatever is your flavor or favorite, just get multiple copies of it, level it up, and it'll be strong enough to pretty much kill anything in the game. And then also with regards to my advice, when using Lepik and Bunny, everything's ability damage or they focus on skill damage. So you're not really gonna be using the guns anytime, particularly. Now there are two utility characters you can get, those being Sharon and Enzo. But honestly, I'd not force myself to get them unless you're having trouble getting into some LFG groups in the Discord or World Chat. And when you're trying to farm, it still puts you at the mercy of the LFGs, even if you do have the characters, because they have to accept you in the group, or you have to make them yourself. I don't find them necessary, as there are other players that just don't want to farm alone and they will let you join them. And then with regards to the materials in the case of Sharon, there are other ways and other amorphous materials you can use, such as those in infiltrations, to get the same pieces you want. Now with regards to the amorphous materials, I'd choose them first by the highest drop rate of the item you want, and then should there be two or more of them that have the same rates of the item you want, I'd then decide based on the secondary or other materials in the amorphous material that you would prefer over the other. With regards to Enzo, if you can't get the parts for him, I would just practice with the encrypted vaults. They aren't that hard, and when it comes to the ultra precise ones, I just leave them alone and reset my lobby so a lower difficulty one spawns. Now with regards to what I would eventually go and start farming now that we've got all what I won't, it would be the ultimate descendants, and I'd get them in this order particularly. That of Bunny first, then ultimate Valby, ultimate Lepik, ultimate Ajax, ultimate Clay, and ultimate Vesa. This is also with regards to how hard they are to achieve, but also the reasons would be Bunny and Valby are great farmers, and you can get them quite easily. Then I also wouldn't want to waste crystallization catalysts and energy activators on normal Valby or normal Bunny in particular, as you can get the ultimate versions quite easily. Now I understand that there's not a big difference between Lepik and ultimate Lepik, but with regards to already putting two crystallization catalysts and one energy activator, and I wouldn't want to put any more into him, and then I'd want to move into ultimate Lepik. And he's also not that hard to achieve. So I'd get him and start bumping him up. Then with regards to Glay, I understand that she's quite a strong character, but right now the game is not really focused around gun damage, and the only place where she shines is that of Gluttony, but you'll be using an ultimate Valby in that case, and you'll be indispensable to your team, so it's not really that necessary. So just play beach volleyball with Valby and Gluttony and you'll be fine. Along the way you should have gotten some additional materials when the Lords of RNG were not in your favor. You should have gotten some blueprints for the crystallization catalyst and energy activator per chance. I'd cook some up whenever you get some free time, and this could be when you log on, it could be whenever you're logging off, the more the merrier. I'd use these primarily on Ultimate Bunny and Ultimate Lepik, and then on your favorite weapon of choice. You should have at this stage graduated from the legendaries and gone to an ultimate weapon. I would not use it on anything purple and blue. The purpose of these purple and blue weapons and gear is just to increase your mastery rank. But for now, let's stick to crafting, and I'll touch on mastery in a minute. With regards to crafting, get a couple of upgrade materials for your weapons and your reactors, but stop crafting them as you don't really need that many, and you can make them as and when necessary within the session that you're trying to upgrade them. With regards to all the materials for weapons and characters, I'd start making them at least so you have one of each at the point at which the meta should shift, and you don't want to wait for more of the crafting. Shout out to the Destiny bros out there. One mistake I'd like you to avoid is something that happened to me. I didn't have a spreadsheet or use the Access Info tab when I was lazy to just check how many of something I'd craft. So for example, the Python, I have way too many of the nanotube crafted, more than I could even make of the gun to have it maxed out, and that's unnecessary. So just keep it in the back of your mind, or just check your Access Info tab whenever you get a chance, and then you should be fine. I'd like to apologize if I sound different. I just had a headache. I went to go get some food and I'm back. But now to get back to master rank, it's tied to the crafting you just did. And it'll go up passively over time. But get into the habit early of using a third weapon slot as sort of like an experience share from Pokemon. Use it to level up some purple and blue weapons and just get the master rank they give you for the first time you get to a new level with a new item. That could be 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 up to 40 on any item you haven't used Crystallization Catalyst on before. After you get them to the max level, delete them, swap them out, and you roughly want to get to about master rank 15. After that, there's no more main benefits such as crafting options or tracking slots that unlock, and most of it's just quality of life. Now, I'm not saying these benefits aren't great, but they're not necessary and you can live without them. I have a lot of fun in this game. I've met some nice people, some strangers in World Chat. Might be doing something strange for a piece of change, but you know. The World Chat's a nice way to find people. Find a group, get into a lobby where people are trying to find or get the same goal as you. Try add some color to your text. Just use the HTML prompts, open bracket the color, close bracket. Type your text out and then open bracket / close bracket, triangle brackets. Just use that, add some color or flavor to your text so that it stands out. With regards to the drop rates in the game, they're not great, but I think they're fair. You can buy whatever you want other than weapons in the game, so I'd advise against purchasing anything other than maybe the battle pass or some skins. The goal of the game is to sink a lot of time into it and grind, as the developers did state themselves. So pick a goal and run it like a horse without, like a horse with blinkers. The rates aren't wild and they're much higher than games like Genshin Impact, Borderlands, World of Warcraft, Elder Scrolls Online. To compare the 6% drop rate, it's 1% higher than that of 1,000 Voices in Destiny's raid The Last Wish. Which, might I add, you only get 3 chances to get per week. Now, I think the game leads itself to an audience with more time on its hands, and if you don't, maybe try one of the games that give you the 3 tries a week. Go for some Destiny exotic, maybe a mounted World of Warcraft or something if that's more your speed. But this game really does need you to sink a lot of time in. So that's about the video. Tell me about your bad luck in the comments and which games have better or worse systems for us to bond over. And if this video gave you PTSD, if you want to see my next time sink, give me a subscription down below. And on that note, I'll see you on the flip side.